live and only an hour and 25 minutes late.
It's to be expected.
It is to be expected, yes.
Don't.
Oh.
It's like, never show me today.
Okay. Constance is here. Are you there?
I'm everywhere. I've swallowed the universe whole.
Yes. And
I know where you are, too.
enjoy the digestive acids. Anyway, yes, we're a little punchy being this late, but we just and it's cold.
Yes, it's cold.
It's cold and kind of foggy. I don't know if you can.
Oh God!
It's starting to get a little foggy. Anyway, but we're here, and I'm sure most of you
are half here too.
Yes, many of you have totally given up on us this morning. But we're here anyway. God damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you like it or not, here we are.
If without fires, I would appreciate a little bit of Santa Ana winds.
Yes. Our friends in Malibu and Southern California, Los Angeles area, I hope you're safe from the fires. Seems like every day we have some kind of conflagration or inundation to talk about. But anyway, let's just talk about shopping and the abyss.
It seems appropriate for the time of year.
Yes, I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to turn this around here.
Shoot me through a mattress
and
as far away as possible.
Let's see, I'll shoot
I'll
you.
yell.
Shoot you here. You throw a tissue in front of the lens there.
Isn't that a little bit too close?
No. I can see.
All right, whatever you say, dearest.
Yes.
You're the pro. I'm just here on Tuesdays.
We're pros.
Oh, I would, well, usually when I talk about something, I am totally unprepared. And I talk about I talk about something that I've been thinking about. A trait I would like to cultivate in myself, or an affirmation I would like to actually actuate into my life. Something, some great truth that I'd like to realize throughout the day and haven't quite done it. So the way to do that is to teach somebody else about it. And that way, their good example will help you.
To learn something, teach something. Yeah.
But this time, well, it's partially like that. But I actually have been, because of the way I grew up in a smallish town. I mean, it was 14,000 or something in Columbus, Nebraska, and I went shopping with my mother. My father would drive us to downtown, and we would walk the length and breadth of it and pay the electric bill and probably the gas. I don't know. No, I don't think we had a gas bill. They had an all-electric house, and the phone bill and things at the little buildings, and go to the hardware store if we were lucky, and go to J.C. Penney's and Montgomery Ward's, and there were other dress shops and things and shoe stock. It was really a nice little downtown, and we'd have fun doing that. And what I'm doing, my mother would talk to everyone, which is probably why I don't have a lot of stage fright and will babble incessantly. But my mother would talk to everyone in the stores. I mean, not to irritate people, but just the people she was next to and to the checkers, because lots of people knew each other in the town, or knew the parents of the people you were with, or people knew each other a lot. And if somebody was a stranger, well, you know them the next time you went shopping. But you make instant friends, and so I got used to just talking to people that I didn't know, and anyway, it made shopping a different kind of an experience. It's hard to say, but it made it seem like
it was a social experience.
It was a social experience. It was a giving and receiving at the same time, and the buying of stuff was only half of it. The other half was the sharing yourself and having other people share themselves with you, and you realize that everybody deep down inside have the same basic interests, but they have infinite ways of expressing those interests, and that's what makes the infinite ways makes it interesting, and the part that the same interest makes it safe to talk to people. Because so anyway, so I learned that. So I kind of got on this thing about it's the holiday season, and I thought, would you like a little bliss this time of year? A change of perspective about the frantic rushing around of the holidays, if you're doing that. Now, unfortunately, Jean-Paul's in Macau, and I can't even shop for him, and I don't get to do that. I do get to write Christmas cards, which I haven't even started, I'm embarrassed to say. I always say I'm going to start in November, but I don't. Anyway, but I used to really enjoy that, and it goes to me, so I could go out on my bike and shop. But can't go shopping this year. So, and it's your opportunity when you're out. It's your opportunity to teach joy and acceptance of each other, even when you feel depleted from the shopping. If people get worn out, I'm going to say especially women, but I suppose men do some Christmas shopping too, as well as other things. Everyone, even if we have an infinite number of ways of expressing it, has the basic same interests. As an experiment for the rest of the month, when you remember it, notice that every chance encounter you have with someone. Now I don't act like those overzealous, newly made, blissed out, trying to convert you Christians handing out Jesus loves you pamphlets. Well, that's not bad.
Have you heard the good word about he's got a plan for your life?
Right. But it's not bad. I take anybody's blessings and give it right back. That's what they're really intending to do, but they get irritating because they go out of their way, out of the path, their path. So I'm talking about people in your obvious path who you will meet, and that's it. You just don't worry about it. You'll just meet people next to you. Let's see, where was I on page 1?
The baristas.
Anywhere, yeah. The person in the car next to you in the parking lot, in the elevator with you, stocking the shelves in the grocery store, people waiting in line to pay for anything. Now that's awesome because people get really upset often. And if you just make a joke when you come in there, oh, the line's long. And I always say this because it's not a joke. We can all make new friends. And I swear, everyone will start talking to each other. Everyone will. It lightens up the checker because she's usually breathing 10 times faster than she should, and her heart rate's probably in a danger zone. Anyway. Never mind the long lines. Oh, I said you can cheer yourself up and everyone else by making new friends. Every chance encounter with someone is not an accident if it's in your path. Every chance encounter is not an accident. It's an opportunity to give and receive. They're the same thing. A priceless surprise. And believe me, you're surprised. It takes almost no time and absolutely no money. Relieve your stress and those around you with a smile or a good morning or a hello or whatever comes out of your mouth. And sometimes, don't be afraid of that.
Obviously you're not. Yeah.
But I have, and these conversations don't take long. I'm not kidding. I've talked to women in the vitamin department of the Sprouts here, or in the bulk department, dishing out flour, scooping out flour at the co-op, and all of a sudden, in about 5 sentences, you are having the most esoteric, blissful conversation. I've had women here ask, say, "Can we be friends? Can we have a phone number?" And I'm saying, "Well, yeah, I don't really." But no, and they talk to me first, or I talk to them first. It's like it's not an accident, is what I'm saying. There are things in your life where you are getting messages from God from the other person, and you're giving messages from God to the other person, and they need it. They'll say, I needed this today, and I will feel the same thing. You will both go away totally blessed.
And that's where that oath of the abyss kind of thing goes, that you're, in a sense, you're not only interpreting every impression as a direct communication of God to your soul, you're speaking it as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn something, is to teach it. And so I'm going to give you a couple of goofy examples if I have time.
Hell yeah.
Well,
sure.
when my mother we were putting my mother in a nursing home in a town, a small town, only about 10 miles away from where she lived. And it was not the most fun thing to do. I mean, she was holding up okay, but it was not. And my brother and I were doing it, and he lived in Lincoln. And after we'd done it, it was a little, sad, and we were trying to be hopeful. And we had to buy groceries, and I wanted to go to Trader Joe's because that's where I shop. And he was compliant and took me around, and kind of, not that he was down from doing my mother, because he wasn't that way, but he was just down from having to drive me around and go shopping. And so he went into Trader Joe's and walked with me. And he used to joke with me that when he went shopping with me, that I was the only person who would get actually excited over seeing certain vegetables. But anyway, we went into Trader Joe's, and I don't know what I had to get, but I walked by the flower counter, and there was a wonderful gay guy there, and who said good morning to me right away, and asked how I was, and I said, well, I'm fine, but I'm a little sick, as my brother and I just put my mother in a nursing home. And he was just the kindest. And everyone through the store, I found, were either they were saying something nice to me, or I would just say hello, or something. Everyone on my path was that way to me. And by the time I walked, and my brother was going like, his mouth was hanging open. It was like we were a charmed trip through the store, just because we were open to giving and receiving, whatever, because we were so drained from the day, I think. Anyway, and by the time we walked at the check stand, we were paying, and they were very nice to us. They didn't know exactly what happened. Someone came from the flower department and gave me a bouquet of flowers. And when we were walking out of the store, my brother said, I've never seen anything like that before. That's just one. And I used to shop at this wonderful store, the greatest health food store in the world, that eventually had changed and got bought out by someone else. But anyway, at the beginning, there were people working there who became my dearest friends, like my guy who stocked his shelves. I'm going to say his name because he's in Mexico, Pino. Anyway, he was like my Mexican brother. And when he was stocking shelves and everything, every now and then he'd come down from his ladder and show me pictures of the squirrels he was feeding on his deck. I mean, these people were wonderful. And in every department, they made the store like bliss. And I would, believe me, I could not give it and receive it at the same time. It was the most wonderful feeling at that store.
The store had a motto.
It was beauty, truth, beauty, and goodness. But they also, under their store, it said, not just a store.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
For like 15 years, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was
a magic place.
It was a magic place. I mean, when the store closed and moved to a new building, there were middle-aged women like me walking around the store sobbing. I'm not joking. Anyway, but those people would give me, the workers there, some of them, more than once, I would get presents from them for Christmas, because they know we didn't have a lot of money, and we stopped at the store anyway, and they would give me gift certificates for the store and stuff like that. I mean, 2 or 3 times this happened to me. And gift bag and their cloth bag, when they came out with a new one for the store, I got one free. They were the kindest people, but it wasn't because there was no reason for any of it, except that I just felt love for them so much, and they were such loving people as well. So I'm saying, your normal, regular life of people who are just your acquaintances can be great teachers in your life to you. I mean,
that's what they're there
that's
for.
What they're there for, and that's what you're there for.
Yeah.
Because sometimes accepting is hard to do as it is to give. And anyway, so okay, that's part of it. I'm not. Anyway, I'm still not through yet. Well, and don't feel guilty if you still feel like screaming or pulling your hair out lots of times during this time of year, that's okay. It's good to practice forgiving yourself for not remembering your divinity.
Ah.
It's just getting you ready to forgive yourself for not remembering someone else's divinity.
Yeah, yeah.
So have happy holidays before the holidays. Because once it's over, you kind of have a letdown. So celebrate that you're still alive, to try again every day, to express the unity of the universe. It's a gift you can keep on giving and continually receiving at the same time.
Ah.
See, I can actually prepare for something, only it takes twice as long to read it.
Well, that was very, very nice. Very nice.
It'll just help you cross the abyss without even knowing it.
Well, you know what? I think I'm going to turn the camera back around now.
I'm going to go pee in the store, in the bathroom.
Yes, we all needed to hear that, dear. That was.
I need to do it.
Now, I've got here in my hand, my little phone here is held up by that little device that a dear, sweet lady gave me at the Witchcraft Museum. At the Museum of Witchcraft, she gave me this magic device that holds up my my little camera here, and so you don't have to look at me through the steering wheel and stuff. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add? We had a wonderful Monday night class last night. We did have a
very nice Monday night class.
We were on the moon.
We were on the moon, which was because the moon is extremely easy.
Seemed like it.
It's extremely easy because it goes from the highest level of whatever to the lowest level at the same time, and it's like, or cyclically. So there's a lot of stuff to do there.
Well, keeping on the theme about seizing every moment, every opportunity, as interpreting it as a direct communication with God is sort of the central point of this Oath of the Abyss that I'm just going to talk about just for like a couple minutes here.
Why? Because I took too much time?
No.
Okay.
Because you took too much time.
That's what I said. What do you mean?
I'm not listening to.
I figured that. Well, that goes without saying.
No. On Tuesdays
I can remember your divinity, but it's really difficult sometimes.
Yeah. Parking lot Tuesdays, I listen to you a lot. Okay. All right. Well, whether or not you think this has anything to do with that or not, in my mind, it really does. Lots of us have heard about this Oath of the Abyss, and I've talked about it I don't know how many times on our morning show. The Oath of the Abyss. See that dark line that goes right between the top triangle and the rest of that tree of life? Well, that's the abyss. The top triangle isn't like the other Sephiroth there on the tree of life. We can wrap our brains around the time, space, dimension-y kind of thing, and levels of consciousness below that abyss line, but actually we can't above that abyss line. It's not really 1, 2, and 3. It's just one, the singularity, the smooth point, just trying to think about itself. And in the kind of magic that or the kind of tree of life, the Kirscher tree of life that most modern magicians kind of choose as their roadmap of consciousness. And I'm sure you're seeing this backwards. But number 4 is as high as you can go without crossing that abyss. And you'll notice that there is no path between number 4 and number 3. In other words, there's no path. Something has to happen. Just like there wouldn't be a path between you standing in your bathroom in front of the bathroom mirror. There is no path that you could consciously take to walk through the mirror into the other side, if that makes any sense. Not that you can't do that. It's just that it would require a dimensional adjustment. Okay. In a sense, we're already at number 1. We're already there. Crossing the abyss isn't you going anywhere. Okay. It's more like you just waking up to see where you are. As long as you're thinking, I am going to cross the abyss, well, that I that you're talking about isn't what is across the abyss. Okay. And so when you hear or read about magicians saying, I've gained the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. We are one. I'm a 5 equals 6. My angel and I are one. And the next step is crossing the abyss. Me and my angel's going to tell. Well, all of that's true in its own little metaphoric language. But as long as you're thinking of I'm going somewhere, or I'm achieving something, or even I'm awaking, you're still doing the stinking thinking of the below the abyss you. Okay? Now, Crowley has in his sort of official AA literature that there is an oath that if you take the oath with full magical intent, it may not qualify you to be an 8 equals 3 or identifying with the third Sephira, okay. But nobody can argue with you, okay. Nobody else on the planet is qualified to validate your claim. So it's a strange little loophole, or people often think that, okay, I'm in the AA, okay, I'm going to take the oath of the abyss, and no one can argue that I'm not an 8 equals 3. And that's right. No one's going to argue with you. They may laugh, but who are they to know? Okay. And so this oath of the abyss is if there was such a thing as duality, it would be a double-edged sword. There are 10 points in the oath of the abyss, and you can look at each of the 10 points as either assigned to the tree of life, coming down the tree of life, going 1 to 10, or you can look at it as going up the tree of life from 10 to 1. And I thought I would kind of share that observation with you right now. Okay. Now imagine that, first of all, that we're going down the tree of life. So when I say 1, I'm talking about 1. And when I say 2, I'm talking about 2, coming down the tree of life. Now, Kabbalists know that each of those Sephiroth has a title. 1 is the crown, 2 is wisdom, 3 is understanding, 4 is mercy, 5 is strength, power, 6 is beauty, 7 is, well, it's like victory, but it'd be like love. 8 is splendor, 9 is the foundation, and 10 is the kingdom. Now, the oath of the abyss, as it is written, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that would be coming down the tree. And the first one is the declaration. So this would be for the crown. And then Crowley gave his own mottos and initials here. But if it's you, you'd give your own motto or your own name. I, Lon Milo DuQuette, a member of the body of God, hereby bind myself on behalf of the whole universe, even as we are now physically bound to the cross of suffering. 2, that I will lead a pure life as a devoted servant of the order. 3, that I will understand all things. 4, that I will love all things. 5, that I will perform all things and endure all things. 6, that I will continue in the knowledge and conversation of my holy guardian angel. 7, that I will work without attachment. 8, that I will work in truth. 9, that I will rely only upon myself. And 10, that I will interpret every phenomenon as a particular dealing of God with my soul. And then there's, and if I fail herein, may my pyramid be profaned and the eye closed to me. Now, if you live in an urban area and there are a lot of people, mostly homeless people on the street, and we look at them and we think, oh, they're absolutely crazy. They're insane. Well, some of them are of course, technically insane and mentally disturbed. But sometimes in their schizophrenic babblings, how they are observing things around them and turning them into poetry, turning them into messages, turning them into great truths. Often they rhyme. Who am I to say that that individual isn't giving voice to a level of consciousness that is above the abyss? He's just not handling it very well as he is bound to the cross of suffering. Now, we could turn that whole thing around and look at it as a climb up the tree of life. Starting at number 10. I, Lon Milo DuQuette, a member of the body of God, hereby bind myself on behalf of the whole universe, because it is the kingdom, even as we are now physically bound to the cross of suffering. Going up to Yesod, number 9, that I will lead a pure life as a devoted servant of the order. Going to number 8, that I will understand all things. Going to number 9, which is the sphere of Venus. Number 7, the sphere of Venus. I will love all things. Number 6, Tifereth, that I will perform all things and endure all things. And then going to number 5, Gibor, that I will continue in the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. See, you've gotten your angel in the one just below that. So going to number 5, you're continuing in the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. Going to number 4, which is the jumping off spot for the abyss crossing, that I will work without attachment. And then number 3, Bina, that I will work in truth. And Hokmah, number 9, that I will rely only upon myself. And at number 1, that I will interpret every phenomenon as a particular dealing of God with my soul. Now, I guess the danger of taking the oath of the abyss for the purpose of trying to establish some kind of a magical pedigree in a community that may or may not exist outside of your imagination, is the fact that it is so easy not to follow through on any of those points. You, as a you, find it nearly impossible, unless you're a Buddha already, to do that, especially interpreting every phenomena as a particular dealing of God with your soul. And that last phrase at the very end, if you should fail therein, may your pyramid be profaned and the eye closed to me. Oh, Crowley says somewhere, oh, there'll be 10,000 incarnations. Well, nah, excuse me, everything is a blink of an eye, so it's not that much. But it's a terrible burden of even your own self-perception of failure at that point. And that's where, and that's under those circumstances, that's where your fellow magicians will look at you with extreme disappointment, extreme pity, extreme awe, but also a little bit of expectation. Anyway, That's it for today. My camera is going sort of funny on me. I don't even know if any of this has been recorded, but if it hasn't, I'll start over tomorrow. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.